It's hockey season in Hamden, Connecticut, as the top-seeded Quinnipiac Bobcats welcome the 8th-seeded Brown Bears. Hello, everyone. I am Kyle Levasseur, alongside my good friend MJ Baird, as we await Game 1 of the best-of-3 series, the ECAC Hockey quarterfinals. We'll get to the suspensions very quickly, as I'm sure most people are wondering what the case is going to be with lines tonight. But let's just take a look at how each team got here, starting with the home team. The Bobcats Co-Cleary Cup champions, their 4th regular season championship in the past 7 seasons. They get it with the very final game of the regular season as they swept Brown and then beat Yale to clinch the Cleary Cup. And then Brown, well, they had a first-round matchup against the 9th-seeded Princeton Tigers last weekend at home. They win that in 2 games. The last game, it goes to triple overtime, the longest game in Bears history, so they might be coming into tonight with some tired legs compared to the Bobcats, who had a first-round bye, MJ.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got a week off, but anytime you have to play a series the week before versus a team that has a bye, it could play a factor for sure.
Now for tonight, the Bobcats will be without their captain, Chase Priskie, and if it wasn't enough losing Brandon Fortunato on defense earlier in the season, they'll also be without senior Luke Shiplow. 3 out of the 5 seniors for the Bobcats will be out of the starting lineup tonight, and instead they'll have freshman Marcus Chorney joining the defensive unit, as well as TJ Friedman moving from forward to defense. So definitely a different defensive unit than we're used to.
Yeah, Kyle, of course. Priskie, if you didn't know already, suspended 2 games by the league, 1 for his disqualification penalty for kicking, plus 1 supplementary discipline from ECAC Hockey, as well as Shiplow. He got a DQ in that Yale game as well, so he's out automatically per NCAA rule. So, Kyle, like you said, a depleted defensive core, and I really think this is going to have potentially 2, maybe even 3 implications for it. The first is leadership. You talked about them being seniors, but also you said it, Priskie's the captain. Yeah. If this team ever faces adversity, he's the guy to kind of guide them through it, and he won't be out there tonight. Now look, it could play no factor at all. Quinnipiac could win big on Brown. But if this is a 1-goal game late in the third, maybe Quinnipiac's trailing, they're going to wish they had Priskie out there to make a difference. The second thing is, as you alluded to, the defensive line changes. Marcus Chorney is playing in just his 3rd game all season. Right now he's listed on the 3rd line D pair with Cam Boudreau. Cam Boudreau's only played half a season with this team. He got called up mid-year. And then Zach Metza, who's kind of been a guy that's been in the lineup. He's played in 28 games, but really hasn't seen 28 games worth of ice time, only getting minutes here and there. And then TJ Friedman, we've never even seen him play defense this year. Depleted defensive core that really could have an impact in the defensive zone. And that leads me to my final point, Andrew Shortridge. Look, we know what he can do. He's been one of the best goaltenders in the nation all season. We'll get to his award a little bit later, his potential award. But he might have to bail the team out tonight and even tomorrow, as we mentioned, Priskie's out for both of these 2 games. So it might come down to defensive zone possession, and if Quinnipiac needs to rely on its goaltender, I'm sure Shortridge will be there to do what he needs to do.
Playoffs are always the time where goalies are the most important people on the ice, and this may have to be a game where Shortridge bails out a depleted defensive team for Quinnipiac. All right, you teased the yearly awards. Yeah. Shortridge up for the ECAC Hockey Goalie of the Year, along with Jake Kiley from Clarkson, and then Harvard as well. Their goalie is also up for it. So one of the top 3 goalies in the conference, but also one of the top 10 goalies in all of NCAA, as he's up for the Mike Richter Award. They also have Peter Dilibratori for the ECAC Hockey Rookie of the Year award candidate. And then Chase Priskie is up for Best Defensive Defenseman Award. So plenty of
don't forget
Bobcats.
Pecknold, too.
And, of course, Rand Pecknold up for Coach of the Year,
yeah.
For sure. So any of them that you think are favorites for any of those awards?
Well, I think Pecknold, absolutely. Look at the team he's put out there this year, and like you said earlier, won a share of the Cleary Cup. Any given day, 9 freshmen in the lineup. Not easy to do, not easy to win games doing that. So I think he's almost as close to a shoo-in as you can get for that. Priskie as defensive defenseman. Rand Pecknold has said before, he thinks Priskie is by far the best defensive defenseman in the conference. I think because he's so good offensively, that gets overshadowed a little bit. Yeah. So I'm not sure I would call him a shoo-in for that. Dilibratori's definitely up there for rookie. However, I'm a little surprised Wyatt Bongiovanni, a Bobcat forward, isn't even a finalist for that award. So I'm not sure he's a shoo-in either. But Shortridge, he has to be the conference goalie of the year. There's no doubt in my mind.
He's a lock, for sure.
It's got to be.
All right, anything else? Any final thoughts as we enter Game 1 tonight, MJ?
I'm not sure if this is going to be a 2-game series, Kyle. With Quinnipiac not having Prisky for both games, I wouldn't be surprised if Brown jumps on that and extends this to 3 games. Look, Quinnipiac's at home. They're the 1 seed. I don't see them losing, but I'll say it right now, I wouldn't be surprised to be here Sunday for Game 3.
Game 1 puck drop at 7 o'clock tonight, next on ESPN.